So I'm Joshua Lawrence Builders, and I do new construction here in Houston, Texas. We do from the ground up. That's finding our own land, doing our plans, running our own permits, and just getting started from foundation all the way to completion. And then that's where we either flip it and put a mortgage on it and keep it for rental, or we sell it and take those funds and do it again.
Yeah, Charles Williams on Sir Charles Investments here in Atlanta, Georgia. I do more rehabs than I do new constructions, and so I do rehabs full time. And I just started my journey about a couple years ago in the new construction phase, thanks to Mr. Joshua.
Nice. So since you're a rehabber, what made you jump into the new construction space? Why not just stay in the lane that you're already comfortable in?
Yeah, just being more creative, you know what I mean? And I'm a creative type of person, or I feel like I'm a creative type of person. And rehabs you can't really change the floor plan, if you will. I mean, the existing floor plan. You can do a couple of things on the inside, but you can't really create what you want to create. And also, when you learn how to do new construction, you can create your own inventory. When you're doing rehabs, you have to buy what's already existing. But if you know how to create your inventory by finding land and building new construction, then that's a whole other level of the business.
Got it. Got it. And so once you decided that you were ready to start the new construction process, I guess what was the challenge that you had initially getting started? What made you reach out to Josh to get started?
To be honest, I was scared, man. I mean, I've done a bunch of rehabs. This new construction just always scared me because I didn't understand it. And just to be honest, and I was like, man, if I can, after a while, I was like, if I can do rehabs, I know I can do new construction. So as I started getting into the new construction realm of things, I was on Instagram and started following Josh. I just seen his projects and what he did and how fast he put them up and the quality and the craftsmanship. I'm like, ain't no way in the hell this guy doing this fast, like on this level. So I followed him for 6 months. And then he started talking on some of his videos, and that gave me the confidence to reach out to him because he sounded like he was real humble. So I reached out to him via Instagram, and he gave me his number via Instagram, and we contacted each other from that way.
Gotcha. So Josh, how did the process get started? When you started working with Charles, where was he at in his process, and how did you help him get started and get past that initial fear of starting a new construction project?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I don't know, was it COVID, Charles? He flew down from Atlanta, and he was my very first person I did a one-on-one with. I wasn't sure of it, never done it before. I'm just trying to figure it out myself, just how to help people. And when he came down, I just showed him my steps of what I did, how I got plans, what I looked at on my plans. And then we went to different sites, going through that process of foundation framing. And just from there, any questions he had, once he went back to Atlanta, I was able to help as much as I could with those questions. And I wanted to see him get his land. Did you already have land? You had land.
I had land already. I had purchased a plot of land that I just had. I was sitting on because I wanted to get a new construction, but I was scared. But I said, let me just buy some land and to do it, man, to get in there just in case.
So before we get into a little bit more about the project, talk to me about what you were afraid of.
Oh, just the unknown, man. You're building a house. Again, when you're rehabbing, it's existing. You go on in there and tear some walls out, you know what I mean, and redoing what's already there. When you're creating something from the ground up, not knowing the process, it's scary. You know what I mean? It's a lot, even for somebody like me who I pride myself on not being afraid of anything like, okay, let's just do it. But when it came to the new construction, man, I was afraid, man. And
numbers, Charles, I remember you. So I shared the numbers that I was getting here in Houston. We wanted to try to keep his numbers the same, but the prices, there was a little different, a little higher in Houston for trades. Just giving him an idea on that aspect, also what you should be price-wise paying guys, because even today, with me doing it for a while, guys, they come to me, they looking for work, and they'll give me a number, and I won't even, hey, we can't work together. We're not a good fit for the product that I'm building. Yeah, so even numbers, helping them in that aspect also.
Yeah. So like really knowing how to make sure you actually are profitable and you don't just get you get your profit margin.
Yeah, overall budget and overall steps, because new construction got to be, I'm going to probably exaggerate a little bit, over 100 steps, right? And so rehab, you may have 50. And so now you're talking about 50% more steps, you know what I'm saying, than where you are, 100% more steps than where you are. It can get scary not knowing where to start. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, he showed me numbers, and he was very patient with me and line item. Just what's first, what's second, third, fourth phase, things like that. Yeah. And it made me feel a whole lot better.
Yeah. So tell
Yeah.
us about the project. What was it? Single family, duplex? What kind of project do we have here? And tell us a little bit about the highlights of the project, or maybe some challenges that y'all had to overcome with it.
Yeah, no, it was a single family home, a ranch style, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. And some of the things that we had to overcome here is going to be permitting. Permitting in certain counties in Atlanta is probably the worst in the United States from what I heard. And so I ran into that. Unfortunately, I think when I had it, it was during COVID as well. And so while everybody was working remotely from home. So it took me over 2 years, 2.5 years to get a permit for this particular job. And so that's another thing that kind of scared me. Do I just need to sell this piece of land? Because it's like, all right, COVID hitting, I can't get a permit. Is it just not meant to be? And every time I called him, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. And he'd just keep me grounded. He got a calm voice and was like, no, man, you're going to be fine. This, and that, man, just helped me through those times just of me wanted to just say, forget it, man, and settle in and just get out of the game. So I just stick to rehabbing. Yeah, but the challenges and the hurdles was going to be pretty much the permitting and a lot of few other things you run into there, sewer taps and things like that at the house, framing, things you can't foresee when it comes to new construction. A few things on the plans that my architect had made some mistakes on that Joshua had caught. Things like that, man. Yeah, yep.
So, Josh, talk about the process of permitting. I think that's something that no matter what state you're in, that's one thing that can be unpredictable for people. How do you help people through the permitting process?
Permitting process, the way I learned it was I got with someone that was doing it already. So I paid this guy up front. I was like, hey, I'll pay you for this first one, but I also gonna pay you to show me how to do it. And I just wrote everything down. Everything that he did, I kept copies of. And once I learned that process of permitting, then I just perfected it from there. Knowing how long it should take. The city, they have a manual of every step you should do. They say, hey, it takes 1 week for plans or this part of the plans to go through each department. So one week for each department, it only takes 4 weeks for your plans to go through. And then after that, it should be ready to make any corrections or resubmit them back to the city to fix those things. Just knowing the steps, I learned that from someone, perfected it, and also calling down to the city, asking them what should happen now. And I just stay in touch with them. So I call first. No, I email first. If they don't respond to email, I call. And then if I can't get an answer from phone call, then I'm asking for a supervisor to push a project along. Not just sitting and waiting, because some people they'll sit 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months, but it shouldn't take that long for permits. If it does, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, for you, Charles, I know you're in Georgia. Joshua, you're in Houston. Was Joshua's process applicable to you, or in terms of how you navigated permitting in Georgia?
Yeah, I think the process is pretty much the same, but it's just really the time it takes to get things done. You know what I mean? It just, again, just in certain counties, like I was saying before, it's just their process. You know what I mean? It's just their process. And I wish they would take on whatever Houston got going on down there. Because again, even when it's non-COVID, it can be a lengthy process just on getting the permits go through and getting red line, whatever they want to do to get them back to you with their responses and things like that. But overall, yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's just different counties, they have their own system and how they do it here. That's all.
Cool. Another question, this would be for both of you guys. In terms of someone who's at the stage you're at, Charles, in terms of you had some experience with doing some rehabs, you've had experience dealing with contractors, you weren't completely green to the concept of building and working on real estate processes. What are some keys to success for somebody that's in a stage like you, or maybe, hey, they've done a couple of rehabs and they feel like they're ready to make that jump, but they're not really sure what's gonna help them be successful? What are some things that you would tell them? So that's for both of you guys to answer that question.
Yeah, I go first on that. What was helpful for me again was reaching out to Lawrence, try to find a mentor, but a good one. Somebody who's really going to pick the phone up and know what they're doing and with a proven business model. Again, for me, that helped me tremendously because once a house is closed in, I'm at home. And because it's like I'm used to the house already being there, but I just didn't know how to get it to that particular point. And again, it was nerve wracking, but having Joshua at a phone call away it just gave me that much more confidence to do what I needed to do, even though he was in Houston. I still felt like I had a mentor on the phone who I can FaceTime and go over some things with, or email plans or whatever I needed. And he'd just give me his opinion on what needed to be done next. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think for me, it's being there, being at the job site, being more hands-on and figuring things out. Because there's just so many different things that can come up through a project. When I'm there, I can figure it out on the go and keep the project moving, keep it flowing. I mean, I have a mentor also that I can call and reach out to, but sometimes we're figuring things out together. Whatever come up on my end, I'm telling him, and if he have anything that comes up, he'll call and give me feedback on it also.
Got it. So getting a mentor is the thing I heard both of you guys say when you're
Mentor and
need
being
that.
at the job site, learning as you go.
Got it. Okay. Last question for you guys. Josh, it feels like the thing that I think a lot of people are saying that sets you apart in your building process is your speed to completion. Seems like you're getting stuff done within 90 and 120 days. I think that's something that a lot of people really appreciate. Charles, talk about that process in terms of, how long it takes to build new construction and kind of how important it is to get a project done fast.
oh yeah. Oh, very important. Again, I try to mimic him, you know what I mean, when it comes to the speed, because I say, okay, if he's doing this in 3 months, I can do it in 6. I gave myself that. I said, if I got a mentor like this, I can do it in 6. So that was my goal. So yeah, speed is key. Speed is key because if you have a loan on the project, you're paying interest daily. So the quicker you can get in, the quicker you get out, the more money you will make to your bottom line. So speed is a key. Control speed, knowing what you doing without cutting corners, and just have things pre-planned on your project, at least 85 to 90% of what you want to do when it comes to planning a project. Now, and I definitely learned that from Joshua, because his stuff is so organized and laid out beforehand. If you know what you want before you go into a contract, before you go into a project, it'll go a whole lot faster. And I definitely learned that from Joshua, just the organization, knowing what you want, fixtures, just have it 85% done of what you want before you get started. So speed is key. Yes, sir.
Anything you want to add to that, Josh?
Yeah, the faster you can go, the less you're gonna pay in those interest payments. I had my bank that I used to use, they changed their structure on me from paying for the interest payments because I was moving so fast. They started putting it in the origination points so they still can get paid. So yeah, as fast as you can go, you can get it on the market quicker, less payments, and just stop wasting time. You can do more in a year. So yeah, my goal is knock them out and just keep moving. If you have some good guys, there's no reason they shouldn't be staying on schedule and doing everything in that process we use.